Hi, everyone, and welcome to StudioJake. Of course, I'm your host, Jacob Airy. Thank you so much for joining me today on my vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture, from anime to televisions to film to celebrity news and so much more. Thank you again for joining me. I hope that you will like this video, that you'll leave me a comment, tell me what you think, share it out all over the world, and of course, subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so every single click or gentle tap or smash of that subscribe button helps me out. Thank you so much. Okay, so talking about the gift that keeps on giving, and that is especially for content creators like me, and that is Prince Harry and his wayward bride, Meghan Markle. And I just mean how they're always moving. They're moving in with Tyler Perry, they're going to Canada, they're going to California, they're going every which way except for home. So this is just so tone deaf to me. So I've made my opinions about the SAG strike and the Writers Guild strike well known. You know, it's this thing that's happening in Hollywood where people who are very wealthy want me to feel bad for them and want them to get more money and for a robot not to replace them, even though that there's some of the most out of touch, reprehensible people on the planet. I'm supposed to be concerned about this, but anyway, neither here nor there. In one of the most tone deaf moves I've ever seen, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have purchased the rights to a novel. Apparently, it's a steamy novel that depicts a situation similar to theirs, although the couple protagonists within the novel are portrayed as the heroes, and except for the spoiled brats that actually are Harry and Meghan Markle. All right, so I'm going to read this article. This is from the New York Post. After several failed production attempts, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may have found themselves yet another Hollywood venture. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have purchased the screen rights to the popular romantic new release Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune to turn it into a film for Netflix, The Sun reports. The novel, which spent 6 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list since its May release, following a 30-something woman whose mother dies in a car crash and her ensuing love story. Per Deadline, the Canada-set novel explores themes of childhood trauma, including losing a parent in a car crash, mental health challenges, and postnatal depression. The book resembles Harry's own life. His mother, Princess Diana, died in a Paris car crash in 1997. Harry, 38, and Markle, 42, met in their 30s as well, as Markle filmed Suits in Canada. It's a deal with Penguin Random House that may have cost nearly $4 million, one identified source alleged to The Sun. The potential new project follows the couple's 2022 Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan, which chronicled their love story and struggles within the royal family, as well as the January release of Harry's tell-all memoir, Spare. Spare is what the article says. According to The Sun Insider, Fortune's book especially stood out to the pair. The themes of the book gripped the couple, and it was chosen for their first adaptation with Netflix, the source said. Okay, so this is hilarious to me for a couple of reasons. One of which is Meghan Markle was supposed to make a podcast with Spotify, but she ended up dragging her feet. It wasn't well received. She called it archetypes and then went on to describe things that weren't archetypes. She did interviews, and it's been alleged that she actually didn't do the interviews herself, that a producer actually conducted them, and then they dubbed in her voice for the recording. Take it for what it is. And of course, Harry's book, Spare, is already in discount bins in stores across the United States, especially. I don't know how it's doing in the UK or in Canada. Canadians seem to like them for some reason, or at least I should say the Canadian elite. I don't know how regular Canadians feel about Harry and Megs, but, whatever the case may be. I think this is so funny. Netflix really needs to watch out because their docuseries was a complete disaster. No one sympathized with them, especially when it was found out that a lot of the footage they used and their commentary on said footage wasn't true. They were lying about the footage. So, for instance, there's this real obnoxious scene in the trailer where the press, and by the way, I don't like the press. go back and watch any of my videos. I am not defending the press. The press, especially in Europe, is horrible. Liars, thrill seekers. The paparazzi basically is the press in the UK especially, but in Europe broadly. As bad as the American press is, it doesn't hold a candle to the Canadian and the European press. But still, you can find that out just by seeing what is true. In Harry and Meghan, there's this really famous scene of the couple. They're leaving the courtyard of some elite event they went to, and the press are hanging over them like on an archway and are taking pictures of them. And they were citing this as the press wouldn't leave us alone. However, it was an event where the press was planned to be there. They knew they were going to be there, and they just flat out lied about it. And the trailer, now I didn't watch the documentary myself. I got through one episode, and that's all I could do. I tapped out. It's basically these two wealthy people throwing hissy fits around, crying, being whiny, and everything in between. It's like, okay, you're two of the most powerful people in the UK for sure, but also some of the wealthiest, and you're going to run around and tell me you've got problems? Spare me. And of course, Harry and Meghan, they lost a lot of credibility when they did that stunt where they said there was a high-speed chase through Manhattan where the paparazzi was chasing them around for 2 hours. And it's like, I've been to Manhattan. There are so many lights. There is no way you could do a high-speed chase. And in fact, several police officers came forward and said that's not the case. The taxi driver said, yeah, the press followed us for about 20 minutes. That's about as long as it took me to get them from their hotel to the venue they were going to. So they're just proven liars. And now, but Netflix can't really get rid of them because they're desperate for content with all these strikes happening. So Harry and Meghan, they bought the rights to this book. I'm wondering, I have a suspicion it's going to star Meghan, but not Harry. She's a D-list actress. She was really, she was well known as one of the briefcase girls in Deal or No Deal. She had like sporadic appearances. She got a recurring character in Suits, which I think is funny because Suits just did like some announcements about where, I think because it's streaming on Netflix, and they put her face on it, and it's like she's not even a main character in the series. I don't even think she was in the last season. Something like that is like, and certainly, it's really crazy. I've only seen a handful of episodes of Suits, and the ones I saw, she wasn't even in. So I just think it's funny, but they're trying to push themselves as these big Hollywood superstars. And Tyler Perry, who they didn't even know prior to this, he decides he's going to get some headlines by putting them up in his California house while he's filming in Atlanta, and all this ridiculous nonsense. It's just a big pity party. It's like, oh yeah, the press follow famous people around. It happens. And, and sometimes I do feel bad, like when children are involved. So, I don't want Archie to get any undue stress or trauma because of the press. And the press certainly has done this to people in the past. And it's amazing if you look up how many people's lives were destroyed by press coverage that just wasn't true. I mean, think about, Kyle Rittenhouse or the Sandman brothers, the Nicholas Sandman and his classmates, Richard Jewell. You can go back through several. Even think about Corey Feldman, who tried to shine a spotlight on the depravity in Hollywood, and he gets Barbara Walters lecturing him on The View, no less. Which The View has kind of a record of siding with predators, so especially in Hollywood, so that didn't really surprise me, but just stunning. And now these two, they have to use that money Netflix gave them, because Netflix gave them money to produce stuff. So they did their docuseries. It was a flop. And so now I guess they're going to do this movie. So I just think that it's not going to go anywhere. I think people will watch it out of curiosity. So I think it'll get in the top 10. I'll probably watch it when it comes out, being honest. I'll watch it and review it. I'll give it a chance. But I have a feeling that when it comes out, it's going to seem to be really do well on its first week that it's out. It'll probably get in the top 10 Netflix, and then it'll fade away. That's honestly what I think. But yeah, I guarantee you, watch for it. Meghan Markle will be in it. Prince Harry won't be in it at all. She'll get some hunky Hollywood guy to be in it with her who will play the male romantic partner. I guarantee it. Because, you know, let's be real, she's a social climber. Every relationship she has, it has been moving up, and Harry was just one of the last stops along the way. Of course, now Justin Trudeau is single. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up, that you'll leave me a comment and tell me what you think, that you'll share it out with your friends, and of course, consider subscribing to Studio Jake. I cover all kinds of nerd and pop culture topics, including film, television, anime, comic books, and so much more. I hope that you'll also head over to my main website, StudioJakeMedia.com, where I have even more news, views, and commentary. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to my locals page. That's studiojakemedia.locals.com. It's the best way to support me. I'm trying to build a little community there. I have exclusive reviews and articles, so definitely head over there and check it out. And I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.